If that doesn't speak to a God who restores and knows us, nothing does.
I can hear my dad's bellowing voice, and we would sing that at the top of our lungs. Unfortunately, I have buried my father, I guess about 9 years ago, and he was my rock, my foundation. He was my first love. I just adored my daddy, and the last year has been tough. I buried my sister and my brother within 9 months and held my little 91-year-old mommy who weighs about 100 pounds and just collapsing under the grief of losing 2 children to that song. So whenever I hear it, I can barely get it out of my throat. So
We were told that we were very neglective and that we don't care about our sons because we didn't tell you anything about our sons. And you're right. It's a true story. Now, this isn't recorded, right? Okay, good. Yeah.
If anyone knows what it's like to have a son, it's
Yeah.
like they get married and then that's it.
Yeah. The oldest one, Tyler, he came out and visited us when we first moved to South Dakota, and we knew immediately he was moving to South Dakota.
He wants the
just
land
loved
of the
it,
free
so.
and the brave.
And so
Carry your arms.
he moved out to South Dakota and got married 2 years ago, and he and his wife are building that house that we showed you. So I did kind of touch on it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then...
Alec is one that came often with us, like you would see him sometimes.
yeah, he and his wife were here at Couples Weekend a few times.
He has like a
so.
big ZZ Top, long beard, and unfortunately this past year he had his leg amputated.
From below the knee.
Yeah.
But that was a good thing.
It's actually a praise. He's been
Yeah.
in pain since he was 16, and he
Yeah.
was begging the doctor to take his
Yeah,
leg.
so he's in the process of rehabbing that and getting a prosthetic.
They're in Sioux Falls.
They have moved out to South Dakota as well. Of course, the one with the baby doesn't have any options whatsoever of moving out towards us. But
Well, he has options. He's
just not taking them. Yeah, exactly. They live in Pennsylvania where we used to live, and he, of course, married, and you got to see the adorable grandchild, the most beautiful grandchild in the entire world.
Which I would have
Sorry.
just filled the slides with.
Yeah. She wanted to show you more today.
I did. I said, can we show more, Jim?
Well, we're going to start out with a game that speaks to what we're speaking about today. And today we are speaking about how to delight in each other and to delight in our marriage. And to do that, you need to know each other, right?
Yeah.
And you need to understand each other well. And so we're bringing back something that we've done many, many times here, and it's one of my favorite things. And we're not going to do the long version of it, but we're going to do the short version. But we've decided the best way to choose our couples today was to take our 3 winning couples from the weekend, which unfortunately are all from the right side. I don't know what happened to all you over here, but if our winning couples could come up here and join us, we are going to play the newlywed game. And so we're going to do, like I said, it's going to be a shortened version. We're only going to do
Women
one
can
half.
sit.
The ladies may sit. The men, actually men, you need to go outside those doors out there. Go all the way outside. No, the ladies need to sit, Holly. You will come back. I promise. You will come back.
We'll text you. Yeah.
I'll call your people. You call my
We
people.
got 2 digits.
We're good.
What happened?
We're good.
There she is. Okay. Oh, yes.
Okay. So we're going to ask some questions. Have you write the answers. Okay. You write them big enough so that everybody can see them. Okay. And we'll make sure we're clear on how you're supposed to answer these. Sometimes it's about what you think he'll say, and sometimes it's about what he'll think you'll say.
Okay, so our first question is, if your husband won the lottery, what would be the first thing he would spend the money on? If your husband would win the lottery.
Of course, he'll never play it because that would be a bad thing. But if he did...
Would it be that bad if you win $1 million and you give...
And you're not allowed to write tithe.
If your husband won the lottery...
The first thing.
What would be the first thing
he would spend? Can they hear out there? Because they should probably go outside. Tell them they need to go outside.
Okay.
All right. They're yakking
Write
so
your
loud.
answer nice and big.
I said you're not allowed to
Don't
put.
talk about it.
Okay, you can put that if that.
Now slip
if he
that
says that, I'm
underneath
going to be
so
impressed.
that it will come like, first when you're ready. Yep, okay. And make sure it's upside down so that they don't see your answer. Do you know what I mean? Put it like upside down.
So for now,
You
put
don't
it
want
up.
them to see it. Okay.
And then stack on top.
Number
There you
2.
go.
What TV character would your husband choose to be in real life? What TV character would your husband choose to be in real life? Think of all the
I want it on
characters
record.
that
We
they
answered
admire.
these last night.
Oh man, we got
We
these
know each
like,
other real well.
boom,
I'd beat
boom,
Tom
boom.
Selleck in Blue Bloods.
Heck yes. And I would enjoy it.
Seriously?
I like Tom Selleck.
No, that's Magnum PI. That's the short shorts.
I love you though, baby.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, third one. What item of clothing does your spouse wear that you absolutely hate? What item of clothing does your spouse wear that you absolutely hate? Your stupid bucket hat.
She doesn't like I have an Eagles bucket
Oh, I
hat.
hate
It is the coolest hat in the world.
I hate it. He looks like such a dork. I would hide it if I could. He'd find it.
I think I look really good in it.
Okay,
I
now,
just want you to know.
this one, the last one. What is your husband's?
Well, you should. Oh.
What is your husband's signature dance? And we're going to make him do it.
I'm good. I have one.
Okay. Then make it up. What do you call it?
Then, yeah, like,
You got to call it
yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like she calls mine the white man dance.
Errin does this.
Come on, that's good.
That's
You're
the white
all
boy
like,
dance.
wow right
Total
now.
white boy dance. Okay. Describe it in some way that you know.
Okay, now
like-
make sure that they're in order
Yeah,
so that
and
when
make
you
sure
pick
they're
them up
upside
from
down or else
upside
they'll
down.
cheat.
So you got to flip those. Yep, exactly. Now turn them over. There you go.
That was nothing.
Except
If I
turn 'em
ripped it,
this
you
way,
guys would be
so that
deaf
when you-
for months.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. You ready? All right, bring in the
All right, guys,
victims.
come in and stand behind your spouses.
Now
There's-
on the line
There is a huge prize on the line.
is the huge
Gigantic prize.
Huge. Okay. Are you ready? Stand behind your beautiful wife. You may not switch. Get behind the right one. Okay. He's tall enough I can just like lean here. Okay. Husbands, we are asking your wives this question. If your husband were to win the lottery, what would be the first thing that you would spend the money on?
We'll start with you, Steve. You say the answer, and then we'll see if you're right. She had a much higher opinion of you. Charity and tithe.
Oh, snap.
We,
First thing I would buy?
Yep.
we know that spend
Spend
it
money
on.
on, yeah.
Hey,
All right, I'll take it.
I,
I'm like, you don't buy it, charity.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a pastor, and mine was an Indian motorcycle. So,
Yeah.
I'm-
It's all right. He was buying it. He was buying
so
a Harley
I just
or-
want you to know, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
think she was like, I think she was doing the Jesus answer. That's all I'm saying. All right.
All right. TJ, what do you think that you would spend your millions on that you would win? You. What
You.
would you
You.
spend?
You
She's
get the-
gonna say what she thinks you spend your money on. Yeah, it does.
He's going for his own. Yeah.
Yes.
I would probably say pay off the debt.
Yeah, baby. Pay off the
All
house.
right.
All right.
Keeping
Ding,
score.
ding, 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 ding. Only that. Good girl. 1 point for this team. And same question. Oh, we're talking
Millions.
We're talking millions.
Oh, no, you're not allowed to make no.
Cheating.
No cheating. It's too late. Go with the answer you were going with.
She had indigestion.
Yeah, that was indigestion.
Okay, not a spiritual answer, a boat.
What did she ask?
I want the vote from the audience. Does he get the point? I don't know, man. That's like 50-50.
All right.
If the boat is not the prize.
Now,
All right,
we're
we're giving you the
from
point.
the opposite end now, so you are first. Here's your question.
Oh, there's four.
What You did not win yet. Calm down. What TV character would you be in real life if you could? What TV character? Yeah.
Yep,
Who
in
do you
real life.
love that you would love to be?
That was who
if
you'd
you
be in
could,
real life.
In real life. For instance, Errin loves Blue Bloods. He would be Tom Selleck.
I'd be the commish. Yeah.
Well, I'm blanking on a television show right now. I guess, could it be a movie too?
Sure.
I mean, like.
Just pick a character. At this point, give us an answer.
Can I go
Okay. You can go whatever. He's going Rocky. James Earl Jones. Oh. That's it. You should have picked James Earl Jones. I'm just saying. Yeah, you blew it right there. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Adrian, you blew it. All right, TJ.
Well, I don't know if she's thinking the same way I am on this, but we always joke that I'm Leonard from The Big Bang Theory, so.
Oh.
I'm going to say no.
Uh-oh.
Based
Look
on
at
her
that
face, no. He doesn't even know who that is. Just in case you're interested, they have some great resources in the back that if you want to, if you,
All right.
all right, this is your
What are we
chance to
going with?
tie it up, Steve.
Who
I don't
would you
want
like
to put
be?
pressure on you.
What TV character?
Yeah, so.
You've had a long time to think.
I know, it hasn't helped.
Do you?
I'm gonna go more for this.
Whoa. You.
Batman.
Man.
Yeah. He would have been all right with Batman, but
So
more.
nobody won that one.
Nope,
Okay, that was
zero.
a tanker. All right. Here's the next one.
This time we
Okay,
start
now
with
we're
TJ.
starting with TJ. Are you ready? What item of clothing does your spouse, which is you, what do you wear that she hates? Absolutely hates that you have.
There's so much to choose from.
My entire wardrobe.
If it's back when we first started dating, I'd probably say the holes in the shoes, but right now I'm gonna say probably the shorts year round.
Shorts year round.
Oh, he does wear shorts year round.
Anything UNC.
Oh, anything UNC. That's funny.
She's a Duke fan, in case you're wondering. So, yeah, you should have gone with that.
All right.
Just saying.
Let's go down here. Go ahead.
I had this purple iridescent from the like over thing from when I went to college. Right, it was Philadelphia College of Bible, said PCB on it, and I wore it from the time I was in college until after we were married. I mean, in like Christmas photos. She hated it.
Nope, your painter shorts. Get rid of those.
They got a little bit of paint on them.
Yeah. Hey, there's some resources back on the table back there that you sell if you want to. Yeah. Okay, just checking.
Well, he just said there's not much left because he's already thrown it all out.
There is one that I know she doesn't find as amusing as I do, because it's.
Again, she's thinking that that's what she should have put, so say it.
It's a shirt that I got because I like it. All it says is "You are here" in big capital letters, and it's the only thing that I'll wear that has words on it because it's irrefutable. It's like.
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, you can't. You're here.
I'm here. Is it the "You Are Here" T-shirt?
No, I like that shirt just fine. I hate that white t-shirt.
That white T-shirt.
That white T-shirt. That one that you don't wear.
Never found that shirt.
All right, this is it, the
All
final
right.
question. Wait, what is the final score at this point?
Only one,
So they have a half a point,
and they have a
and they
point.
have 1 point.
So, this is it.
I just want it on record, you guys are failing miserably, okay?
Which means you need to sign up for next year. They are the young couple. That's scary.
All right,
Married the least amount of time.
Okay. Now, this is very important. We're going to start with you, okay? She is going to say what she believes is your signature dance, and it gets better. You have to do it. If you go to a wedding, if you go to a party, what do you break into? And you can describe it. If it doesn't have a name,
or if it's just in the living room at home because you're
and
feeling
then
good.
you need to break into it. We should play some music. Funky Cole Medina. Okay. Okay. To it. Yes. Let's.
Okay, what's it called?
Yeah.
Two-step type hip movement. I'm giving you that
Yeah, baby.
one. I'm giving you that
I
one.
missed it. I'm sorry. I was over there and I missed it. Can you please? I need to see it again. What was that? Put your finger. Put it. Okay. Oh, I like that.
Hey guys, I'm really sorry. We should not have let him go first. This is going to be bad. I'm just warning you, okay? They are going to love this.
I'm just saying. I was at their wedding. This boy can dance. It's fun.
All right.
All right, TJ.
All right, TJ.
What would be your
TJ, you are
dance?
next. Oh, yeah, you do. You
Do
just
have
got to
a
come
team?
up with it.
This is Errin's.
And
He
whatever
does the
she
white
thinks
boy.
is your dance,
Do you
you
have a
got to
dance
try.
that you usually break into? You just stand there.
So your answer is nothing.
No, I'm sure I do something.
Okay.
Okay. Are you?
Can we come back to you? No.
No. Are you tanking? Is that a big old?
You still have to do whatever she wrote. Just
Would you
warning you.
do this or something like the Urkel or like?
Urkel?
No. Okay. Okay, so the sway back and forth, snapping your fingers.
Okay.
It's the finger dance.
The finger dance.
Oh! TJ, you're killing me, brother.
Can we see that one more time? Thank you. Yeah, not as good as him. That's what I'm gonna say. Sorry. The finger dance.
All right, bring it home, brother. Let's see.
Here we go. 3 words.
3 words.
Saturday Night Fever.
Oh!
Disco moves. We'll give that to you. We'll give you that one. Disco moves.
So the winner is.
With 1.5 points, which is terrible, you win. And you know what you win? You win absolutely nothing. So thanks. Bragging rights.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
There we go.
So give them a round of applause. They did a great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, you guys need to sit down now. Just
Every party, everything we go to, Errin
times.
breaks into the white boy move.
that's my man. It's smooth. Just saying. Smooth. So today, obviously, we're going to be talking about delighting in each other, delighting in our marriage, and how important that is. And to not let mundane become mundane, to not let hum-ho become hum-ho, but to truly delight in each other. And when you look at the definition of the word delight, it's a high degree of gratification or pleasure. The joy of delighting in your spouse rather than just simply existing with them. Being able to understand each other and love each other, having fun, not having that ho-hum gray relationship, right?
Yeah, and we're all human beings. We live the daily grind. So being in this state of delight, I mean, let's get real. We're not going to live like that. But there should be the state of delight in your heart for your mate. And that's different than just lust. It's different than, the little
Did you notice how she looked at me and said lust?
It's different than the butterflies in the belly. It's literally looking at your mate and having that complete and overall gratification for who he is and what he's doing, and just delighting in it.
There's some pretty good scriptures that fit this, right?
There are, yes.
So?
So Solomon 2:16 through 17. My lover is mine, and I am his. He browses among the lilies. Before the dawn breezes blow, the night shadows flee. Return to me, my love, like a gazelle or a young stag on the rugged mountains.
That's how you talk, right? Like a gazelle or a young stag.
Yeah, when I look at you, I think gazelle.
I'd prefer stag. Stag, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my heart.
I don't know, gazelle just seemed a little... Solomon 4:1 says, you are beautiful, my darling, beautiful beyond words. Your eyes are like doves behind your veil. Your hair falls like waves,
In the sink.
like a flock of goats winding down the slopes of Gilead. Your teeth are as white as
yellow
sheep,
as tea.
recently shorn and freshly washed.
Ew.
I know. There's your teeth. Your smile is flawless, each tooth matched with its twin.
Oh.
Now there's some beautiful words right there.
4 years of braces, they better be a little. Okay.
When your teeth get recently shorn and washed, it's like nothing I can hardly handle it.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying.
Next time I go to the dentist, I'll be like, babe, my teeth are shorn. Okay.
It's getting warm.
Proverbs 5:18. Let your wife be a fountain of blessings for you. Rejoice in the wife of your youth.
That verse really speaks to what we should be doing. And I'm gonna change a little bit of it in that it's not just the wife of your youth, but I'm gonna put the word spouse in there. And listen, it doesn't say a young wife, right? That's not what it's saying. It's telling us to go back. It's telling us to remember that love, that instant moment when we were talking about it last night at the snack shop, and I literally met her and went back to the dorm. It was the first time I met her, went back to the dorm and told everyone in the dorm. Yep, first day in college, and said, I'm going to marry that girl. And that true story. And
what did they say?
It took me a year to get her to even go out to date me, but
what did the guys say in the dorm?
There's no way. True story. But I'm a stag. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are, baby.
And just remembering that, and remembering those moments when you first fell in love, and to bring those back, and to constantly let that be what revives the delight that you take in your spouse. As we were doing some studying and research on this, I came across an article. It was written by Pastor Ray Ortlund, and he was writing for the Desiring God website. And he took that verse a little bit farther and kind of, I'll say, expounded upon it maybe. And he also said, not just the wife or spouse of your youth, but the spouse of your legacy. I thought, wow, what a great term. The spouse of your legacy. What are you leaving behind? Are you one, what we talked about? Is your marriage representation and truly portraying the gospel so that when people see it, they see that the church and Christ are one? Is your kids seeing how much you love your spouse? Do they see it? Is that a legacy that's going to be carried on? And that they're going to understand that there is nothing that can come between you? Is that the legacy that you leave? Is there that much delight in your marriage.
The older we get, the more we look at that and we say, wow, what history are we leaving behind? And you think about that, our kids are going to say things about what dad was like and what mom was like, but they will never be able to say anything negative about how dad loves his wife and how mom loves dad. And that makes me feel so good that we have given a picture of truly loving one another. We're not, by any means, we're not perfect.
No.
But, we are definitely leaving that for our kids.
Yep.
And I think that's important. Marriage is about two people learning to delight in one another to the point that they become one.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't just mean sexually, like the Bible says that the two flesh shall become one flesh, but it means emotionally and spiritually as well. I feel that we really try to practice that as much as we can at home, of thinking, how can I make his life easier or a little bit better today? If I think through that he's going to have a busy day, maybe he needs a lunch. Maybe I'll make that before I go to bed. I know that his feet get cold at night. He loves his granny blanket, so maybe I'll make sure
Thanks
that
for
that's
sharing.
on his bed. I try really hard just to love him the way that he needs to be loved. We all have our own love language. I'm sure we have all, and if you haven't read it, it's back there on that table. But I'm sure
That was
we've
for
all
free.
done the test. My love language is I love actions. I love, you could tell me as much as you want, but show me. And, if I come home and the house is cleaned up and he's made me dinner, oh my goodness, like that, yay, you're speaking my language. His is all physical touch. I have to make sure that I'm holding his hand. We had to put our recliners. At one point, we had a nightstand between them, and he's like, you're so far from me.
True story.
So we put our recliners together so that they look like they're like a little sofa, and then we can both recline like old people, but we hold hands.
People with wisdom.
People with wisdom. So, so I try, even when, and I'm kind of like, if I'm in a bad mood, don't touch me. That's just like, ugh, yeah, so I have to really think, but that's his love language. And even if I just do this, and just give him a rub on his back, yep, there he goes. Rub his little bald head, whatever I need to do, just thinking, even when we're at church, I'll look down to make sure his bottle of water is there. And if it's not there, I scoot out the back, go get him his water, sit back down. He needs that when he's preaching. Just little ways of meeting his needs.
And that's how you delight. That's how you delight in each other. And when two people do that, that kind of relationship there just cannot be explained how joyful that kind of relationship is. There's a term out there that you'll hear quite often. It's
There's a
very
show
common.
after it, too.
Yeah, called love is blind, right? That's a term. Love is blind. I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong. I don't think love is blind is right. In fact, I think what happens is true love sees the bad, they see the negative, but they love anyways. They delight anyways. It's not that I'm just ignoring it and it's not there. It's that it's there, I know it's there, but I'm going to love you anyways. And I'm going to delight in you anyways. It's when a husband and wife have that kind of relationship, there's this closeness, this intimacy, that because what happens is you're not constantly being judged, right? It's not this constant thing of, the things that I do that annoy her, right? Or the white t-shirt that you wear that you're not supposed to wear, but you're not being judged, you're being loved in spite of that. And that's a deeper love. That's a deeper acceptance that comes and brings a personal acceptance into the marriage that is so beautiful.
And that can root, and it can take a big seeded effect, because things that he may do that are just Errin, that might rub me wrong, if I let those constantly fester and I get on him and I nag on him and I nag on him and I nag on him, it breaks him down. He feels judged. He doesn't want to be around me because I'm constantly pointing out what doesn't work for me or what I don't like, which that's crazy. Like, I'm not perfect. I have issues also. But so you need to think about, am I letting things go? Now, there are some things like that white shirt that you wear when you preach in, and I said it looks like a dress and it bellows.
Yeah, but it's really comfortable.
I hate that shirt.
just-
Please don't wear that shirt. And then he says, but I love it. Okay,
It's comfortable.
so I'll just go in the nursery.
I think
on
this
that.
goes back. Seriously?
It really looks like a dress. It's
really-
bad. It's bad.
It's really
it
a
even
good
has a
shirt.
vent for like sweat.
It's
It,
a
like,
fisherman's shirt. It's wrong. So wrong. It goes back, can we come back now, to that verse in Proverbs, right? Because when we first met, and that first love, the wife of my youth, the spouse of my youth, we didn't know all of that stuff, right? We just loved because we loved. And then that other stuff we learned as it came along. And so if we keep that in our thought process and delight in each other in spite of the things.
Do you remember that conversation? We were driving in the car, and I said to him, if you could go back right now to who we were back at Cedarville, would you do that? And he said,
No.
no. He said, I love you more today than I have ever could even think was possible. And I think that's pretty cool because I know what he's going to do. I know what he's going to think. I could finish his sentences. I know what he likes. I know what he dislikes. I know what his whispers are. We talk about that a lot. You know what your man's whisper is, and
Your woman's.
or your woman's whisper. And that means what is constantly going, you are a failure. You're not good enough. You don't have enough education. What is that whisper that constantly whispers? What would be mine? Go ahead.
Your children don't love you. That's her whisper.
And I know my boys love me, but they don't communicate with me very much because they're boys.
Listen, whispers
They're men.
aren't true. Whispers
They're
aren't
not
true.
truths,
They're
but
what you hear.
I hear.
And that's a big difference.
I hear I'm not good enough. I need to be better. I'm being judged. My kids don't communicate enough. They must not love me. What have I done wrong? All those little whispers. So if you want to get vindictive, you could push those buttons. And I could push into that and be like, oh, you're not going to talk about that this Sunday, are you? Do you really know enough about that? Are you, what would so-and-so say at church? Do you think they'd? And that we see, let me tell you, it sounds evil, but we see in counseling button pushing, and they know what it is. They know that whisper, and they're going to shout in his ear, and that is destruction.
Whispers aren't true, but they're what we perceive as real. And if we lean into those whispers as couples into each other and feed those whispers, they just become more real, and the perception becomes more harder to overcome. And so understanding and loving your partner and delighting in your spouse in such a way that you want to just uplift, you want to hold up, you want to bring out the best in. That's what we're talking about today. That's the kind of love and delight that we're talking about.
I think, too, we have to realize that we are all living in different seasons. When I was a young mommy, my kids were everything, literally everything. I had 3 under 7 years old, I think, when we were here at Harvey Cedars, and I did everything I possibly could. And I was a school teacher. And, each season that you grow in, it becomes different. Now we're in a season where we're just starting to empty nest, and it's freaking me out because I'm like, what do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know who I am. now I've moved to South Dakota and I don't really have those soft spot friends that really get me. And now it's like, wow, I feel like I'm all alone. I'm lonely. I'm going through some depression sometimes. And so you have to realize that he's going through seasons that might not be my season. And his peak might be here, and I might be at my lowest peak, different season, or you might be in the same season together. So you have to acknowledge that, and you have to speak into it. When my whispers are strong, he sees it, and he says, look at me. You are worthy. You are loved. It's you and me, baby. We got the rest of our lives together. We need to focus on what's ahead. We're in a new season. We got this. And, so you gotta acknowledge that times change and your seasons of your life change.
We've had the chance to witness quite a few marriages, weddings. I've had the opportunity to perform quite a few. And, I always do premarital counseling. It's kind of like a requirement. And we get together for a couple of months, probably 4 or 5 months before the wedding, over and over and over again, and talk. And I get to hear the stories of how they fell in love. I get to hear about this, the wife of your youth, the spouse of your youth, and this love that is talked about. And, the word love gets thrown around so much in our culture today. And like you love chocolate, right? Dark chocolate.
It's got to be dark
Right.
chocolate.
You love dark chocolate.
I love art. I love
Right.
dogs and animals, and if they're wearing glasses, that makes me really happy. So I draw a lot of animals wearing glasses.
And then there's the best love besides maybe marriage. It's, I love the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And they're an amazing team. And just thought that was for you, John. Just throwing that out there, my friend. Go Birds. Dallas, you're done.
And
Anyways,
truly, oh my word, seriously?
yeah. Told you it was going up there.
My
Look,
word.
and then we say we love each other, right? Well, these are 3 totally different types of love, right? So what does love mean really in the context of our marriages and our relationships? Well, Paul, obviously one of the most famous passages ever, right? Speaks about love.
1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 7. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels and didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal.
I'm going to pause you 1 second because I want you, as she's reading this, I want you to be thinking about the person sitting next to you, the spouse, and this kind of love towards
Are
your
you
spouse.
calling me a noisy gong?
No. You're not.
Am I a clinging
No, if you
cymbal?
don't have love,
Oh.
you're a noisy gong. And
Okay.
you love me, baby, and I know it, so.
If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It's not irritable. And it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoice whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. It never loses faith. It always is hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Love means being all these things, but notice that it's not a feeling. It's not that, I'm in love.
Most people, when they're thinking about love, and I'm going to own this, guys, and I apologize. I know I was talking trash and big-time football Eagles player. I love Hallmark movies, right? I do. I love them. And
cries.
I cry at them.
He literally cries.
Fact of life. I can't help it. It just happens. But that's a lot of times what we in our culture try to define love as, right? There's always we call it the Hallmark moment where there's the tension and the tears come, but then there's the next Hallmark moment where it's all overcome and it either ends in a wonderful wedding or this big, huge, wonderful kiss, right? Well, that's not what love really is. It's not. And I think that's why we have so many marriages that fail, because that's what they're expecting. That's what they're going into it with. And love is not a feeling. It's just not. It's not an emotion.
And when we do have counseling and we look at this, usually there's someone being proud or rude. They're demanding their own way. One is usually more irritable than the other. They're always bringing up an injustice that they've gone through and how they're feeling, like attacked. And there's just this constant grinding of irritation. And that's a feeling. It's hard.
Love is much more than an emotion. Emotions fleet, right? Feelings fleet. They go. Love is something that we have to move into. We have to go into it and choose it.
And anyone that's been married longer than, maybe that day or that week, we know that feeling, it comes and goes. There are days, I always love him, but there are days that I wake up and I'm like, I love you, I don't like you today.
There are times where I don't like her.
I said I don't like
you. Sorry.
And we literally, you just know. And then, you need to respect each other's space. And for me, that means just give me some space. Like, I'll sit back in my room, maybe watch some TV, I'll draw, I'll get some of my own time. I need that. I'll take a walk, I'll go outside. His means watching football.
Or I could watch football.
Yeah, or that. Maybe going out and shooting some golf. You do enjoy golf.
Yeah, I do.
But I know that that's important to him. So I don't get like, what do you mean you're going to watch another game? All you do is watch the game. We need to have time together. This is ridiculous. You know what? I could sit and draw a picture while he's watching the game. So I just sit in my little recliner and touch him every once in a while. Say, go Eagles, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. See, I even know the little cheer.
That was really good.
I know they're green and black. I know which team it is. I know which direction they're supposed to run.
Sometimes.
So I try. If you want your marriage to be strong and to last, you have to choose every day to love and delight in your mate. And that sounds kind of, wow, you have to choose to love the person that you're with. You do. Because honestly, probably all of us have had a moment in our marriage where you're like, I'm out. I don't need this. I could be at peace. I could do this. Haven't you had that moment?
Never.
You were such a...
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we have. And we have had those times, and that's natural because we're human beings that just need our own space.
And I promise, and again, there's not a whole lot that I can promise because I promise this based on what we've been talking about, that we make God the center of our marriage, that we make God the representation of who we want to be as a couple. And if we choose to love each other each day and choose to delight in each other in spite of the things that may bother us, you will have the most fulfilling, rewarding, wonderful marriage you've ever had.
Now, Peter says, 1 Peter 3:3-4 says this: don't be concerned about the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, an unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. Now, ladies, don't let me get this wrong. Do not think that means you have to wear a sack and you can only shop at Goodwill and that you don't ever get your hair done. Don't think that. It's saying don't be obsessed with that. If you're like, well, I gotta wear, the red soles all the time, and I only wear Gucci, and I got to go get my hair blown out every week, and my nails have to be finished, and you're, struggling to make ends meet, but it's all about you.
On the outside.
On the outside. I don't know how many times raising my daughter, because I'm a boy's mom, And we adopted Aaliyah, and so it was a whole new learning curve, and I had to say to Aaliyah often, baby, you could be as beautiful as God will allow your beauty to be, but it's all about what's on the inside. Don't ever be an ugly girl. Don't be one of those ugly girls. So it's really important, and the last part has always been really hard for me. A gentle, quiet spirit. I am not a quiet spirit at all.
That doesn't mean be silent, though.
No. And one of my friends told me that means just be teachable and know when it's okay to speak. And I know my crowd and when I can speak and be completely Jen, and then there's times where it's like, I got to pull it back just a bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Sometimes. Very rarely.
A little bit.
Peter goes on then, and he speaks to the husbands, and it says, in the same way, you husbands must give honor to your wives. Treat your wife with understanding as you live together. Now, don't get mad until we're done talking here after I finish this verse, all right? You may be weak, they may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner in God's gift of new life. Treat her as you should, so your prayers will not be hindered. That word weaker is actually speaking about physically weaker. And it's not talking about someone who is less than, someone who should be demeaned. In fact, when you follow up with what it says right after it, treat her as your equal partner in God's gift of new life. That's how we have to, that's how we treat each other. That's how we love each other.
The perfect example of love is found in Jesus, who sacrificed everything and humbled himself by taking the form of a man. And he came down to heaven, to earth, to die for us. He chose to give up his life so that all that believe in him could have eternal life. Jesus' sacrifice was out of his love for us. And in the same token, my sacrifice is dying to self and everything that I want is because I love Errin.
In John 15, it says, this is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. That's what it means. Figuratively, for sure, maybe literally, to lay down your life for your spouse.
You almost said lay down your wife.
I know, almost. It's life.
Okay.
Lay down your life for your spouse, and how important it is to be willing to do that, to be willing to give up completely. In Romans 12:10, it says, love each other with genuine affection, and I love this, and take delight in honoring each other. Now that's how we love and delight. We take delight in honoring each other, putting her above me, making sure she knows that whatever she needs, whatever it is about her, is more important than what I think I need. That's how you delight in someone.
And that's fighting the human self, just that need to be recognized or to be seen. I'm not going to talk bad about my mom, but my mom used to do one thing. When my daddy was really struggling with Parkinson's, and he would be in his wheelchair, and we would come in to the home to come and visit him, I would just run right to my daddy, and yes, I would curl up and sit on his lap in his wheelchair. And I would love on him, and my mom would always go, hello, I'm right here. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, if there is a tension, which, trust me, being a pastor's wife, it's a big shadow. One time I called him the Pope. It's like, oh,
Not true.
can I be in your shadow? And so I have to realize that he does get a lot of respect and honor. And instead of being like, hello, I'm the pastor's wife, say hi to me, I have to be able to be like enjoying being, hey, he's Errin, and he is an amazing guy, and people love him. And I love that. I love that for him. So it's enjoying that honor. Now, we started the weekend with this verse. If you remember, it was Ephesians 5:32. This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way that Christ and the church are one. And we talked about building our marriage on that foundation.
Marriage.
Marriage.
The verses that precede that We're not going to expound on them. We're just going to read them to you. And I want you, as we close out this weekend, to think about what these verses mean in your marriage. It's how we live a life and a marriage that is a representation of the gospel. In verse 21 of Ephesians 5, it says, "And further submit to one another out of reverence for Christ."
And then it says, for wives, this means to submit to your husbands as to the Lord.
And for husbands is the head of his wife, as Christ is the head of the church. His savior, he is the savior of his body, the church.
As the church submits to Christ, so you wives should submit to your husbands in everything.
For husbands, this means love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. He gave up his life for her to make her holy and clean, washed by the cleansing of God's word. He did this to present her to himself as a glorious church without a spot or wrinkle or any other blemish. Instead, she will be holy and without fault. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as they love their own bodies. For a man who loves his wife actually shows love for himself. No one hates his own body, but feeds and cares for it, just as Christ cares for the church.
And we are the members of his body. As the scriptures say, a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one.
This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one.
So I say again, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
So, each day, choose to love your spouse by putting their desires ahead of your own.
We need to build our marriage on that solid foundation. We talked about the build.
And then we need to pray for our marriage, for spiritual protection, and for it to be an example of the gospel.
And we need to guard and defend it.
And then what it really boils down to in the end is what we talked about this morning. You have to choose every day, every moment, choose to love and delight in your spouse by honoring them, like it says in Romans. Our marriages are so important to the gospel. If you don't walk away with anything else from this weekend, walk away with that, because you are a testimony. You are a testimony to what Jesus Christ did on the cross for our sins and gave us the eternal life we have. And so for that reason alone, we have to do everything we can to make sure our marriages are strong and a true picture of who Jesus is. We're going to close out the weekend with a song. I found out it might not be a song that's well known in this area, but
This is one of our
it is an
favorites.
amazing song that sings and speaks to this incredible God that has given us this incredible joy in our lives. And I just want us to sing it with a complete, reckless abandon of praise to him. It's called Behold Our God. So if you'll please stand and join and sing with us.